right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Murtaza Hossain. I'm part of product management team within Observability Management platform. I'm today accompanied by the core team from OCI Ops Insight agenda. It's a busy agenda today. We'll be kind of talking about with high level covering what observability and management platform is, and from there on we'll cover the nuts and bolts of Ops Insight service, and then we'll quickly jump into some of the new features, right? Some of the features you may have seen in the past, but we have added a few tweaks and enhancements to these existing features, right? So we'll be covering that in today's session. All right. With that, let's get started with what is Oracle Multi-Cloud Observability Management story, right? So observability starts with the basic cloud services like compute storage, networking, security, control plane telemetry, right? From that, we have built these foundation services that you can see on the top. We have within the observability management platform, we have application performance monitoring, stack monitoring, logging analytics, database, and OS management and Ops Insights, which we'll be covering today. All these services ingest telemetry data, which is melts, what we call metrics, events, logs, traces, and SQL from all cloud providers, right? So we're talking about Oracle Cloud, of course. Microsoft Azure support is also there. Google Cloud and AWS announcement have been done in the recent past. And then, of course, we also support on-premises in terms of ingesting the melts telemetry into these services. With this, so before we kind of deep dive into Ops Insights, I wanted to kind of touch upon some of the high level salient points of what is OCI Ops Insight service, right? So if you look on the left-hand side, we ingest data from all infrastructure, right? Whether it's an OCI, on-prem, multi-cloud, and we also support Enterprise Manager as a complementary service. So we ingest that data from your infrastructure footprint into a cloud-based data store, which is highly scalable. It's autonomous ADW. We can store up to 25 months worth of history across your databases, Exadata system host, and all that in a centralized place. And then what we have done is we have built this Ops Insight service, which is a series of application features that lets you kind of analyze this data over a long term and also predict how your capacity will look across your databases, your host, your Exadata systems. How will your fleet of databases will perform or are performing from a SQL performance or database performance perspective, and then also let you kind of build customize dashboards using our unique data object technology within Ops Insights, right? So this is all part and parcel of the service. All right, with that, let's move on to some of the key solution, or I should say, key feature areas, right, for OCI Ops Insight service. So from the top, we have capacity planning. So as I mentioned, capacity planning is looking at the historical trending data. We store that, and then we provide forecasting capabilities using some of very advanced forecasting models that we have embedded within the service, right? So you have linear models, you have seasonality aware models. They kind of look at the seasonality of the data. And then we have, of course, integrated with OCI's AutoML service to kind of give you a granular way of looking at cyclicality within cyclicalities or data which is, a little bit beyond that to do the prediction or forecasting for your capacity, whether it's on databases, host, or Exadata systems. Next, we have, this is a recent feature. We'll deep dive into this in the following slides. It's called SQL Insights. Essentially, it provides in-context view of your SQLs that are running across your fleet of databases. From there, we have in-context drill down into a single database and all the SQLs that are running against that database. And then from there, a user can very easily drill into SQL level performance insights application, right? ADDM Spotlight is also now offered as part of Ops Insight service. It is also there in the Enterprise Manager. This is a strategic view of the various ADDM runs that has happened over a selected period. It provides you a strategic view of the database performance, how you can fine tune the DB time across databases, and what actions you can take based on the recommendations and the findings that this tool provide you out of the box. Data Explorer is unique to Ops Insights, where a user can very quickly build and author SQL using data objects in a very interactive way. And while doing that, they can also use inbuilt visualizations to visualize the data and then store those whatever query they have built into what we call widgets. And finally, those widgets can be assembled into a dashboard, an out-of-the-box dashboard or custom dashboard that they can utilize for their very use case. News report is, think of it as a good morning report, which highlights some of the notable developments that has happened, whether you're talking about on a weekly basis. Now we are also adding capability of doing that across daily basis. And the developments is around your capacity finding and the insights around that, and also the insights that the user can very quickly glean across SQL Insights in an email fashion. So we'll also click on that later on in the presentation webinar. Lastly, we have this cloud version of AWR Hub, which is again a cloud-based repository where you can basically save your AWR snapshots and utilize some of the built-in applications within AWR Hub, such as AWS Explorer, and then AWR, where you can look at the various sections of AWR and kind of analyze and see, what has happened over a period. All right. On the right-hand side is the landing page of the service, as you can see, with the databases and host, which are enabled on the service. All right. We'll start with ADDM Spotlight. As I mentioned, it's a newly added feature which provides expert technical advice into aggregated ADDM automated database diagnostic monitor hourly runs over time. This advice is broken down into findings and recommendations aggregated over a long period, which enable DBAs and system administrators to assess systematic impact of implementing ADDM recommendations over all the workloads serviced by the database, right? Administrators can weigh in on the total benefits of big changes against the cost and or risk implementation and make better performance management decisions, right? Some of the key features is it provides a summary timeline showing when findings and recommendations occur. So that happens over here. As you can see, you have a findings tab, right? You have a recommendation tab, and it also tells you about, how the database parameters are, settings are there, and if something has changed over a period, right? It highlights that, right? There is some recent enhancements that we have added to the ADDM Spotlight, which is a tab where it provides the overlay and correlated events annotation. So as you can see over here, it provides you annotation of any time there is something happened with the database. For example, a database has restarted, or there has been some changes in the database parameter. It kind of tells you with the small kind of inverted arrow over here on the timeline as to when it has happened. And the user can kind of dig into that timeline and see, what is going on and why it happened. All right. SQL Insights. This is also a new released application in Ops Insights that basically helps in performing pattern recognition-based analysis for enterprise workload optimization. You can utilize SQL Insights to identify patterns in SQL response time execution plans using a curated set of long-term SQL statistics collected periodically. In terms of the experience for SQL Insights, it's delivered as part of 3 interrelated dashboards that present pre-computed insights into fleet-level SQL performance data. And these dashboards quickly help identify the performance impact of SQL execution plan changes, cluster sharing issues, and new SQL introduction applications. Data visualizing dashboards further enables exploration and verification of the insights. Uh, all right. So this is kind of looking at the fleet level page of SQL Insights, where you can look at all databases that have been enabled, and you're getting the insights across the fleet. At a high level, it presents an inventory of enabled databases, a global tree map view of SQLs across databases, as well as top databases by insights and SQL performance measures. It helps identify databases in the fleet in need of workload optimization by showcasing top databases by insights. Also highlights fleet-wide workload decomposition by command type. So from the fleet, you can drill down in context of a single database of your choice, which is showing here on the right-hand side. This is a database level dashboard. And over here, it provides insights from a performance summary of all SQL statements collected for a database over time. It includes SQL activity over time, broken down by command type and module, parsing and invalidations, top SQLs by other important measures. Insights, which you can see on the left-hand side, include aggregate impact on plan changes, degrading SQL, new SQL cursor invalidation storms. High level, essentially it provides widespread person validation events. It helps with workload decomposition by command type, module, PL SQL commands, and helps you in a cumulative way of impact of plan changes or cursor sharing issues. So from this, a user can click on the SQL ID of the choice, and that will lead them to this SQL Insights SQL page, which is looking at one SQL ID of your choice, of your concern, and looking at the insights around that. So in this case, the insights and historical performance data is per SQL per database, right? So performance measures include average latency, total database time, parsing activity, IO, and more. And insights include the detection of gradual performance degradation, any plan changes impact, cursor sharing issues, and variable performance. It helps identify SQL performance anomalies across by showing plan changes affecting average latency, any cursor sharing issues, and so on. Just want to highlight, we have also added a new capability, which is now integrating with another service within Observability Management. So application performance monitoring, if someone has enabled that, they can very quickly click in the context of a SQL ID from APM service into OCI service using SQL Insights, right? So a new out-of-the-box drill down is basically helps in exploring the details as SQL ID part of the APM trace. So if it's the APM trace and it's highlighting some SQL ID, you can use that SQL ID to click into SQL Insights page application. Yeah. Yeah, we have also added support for Heatwave MySQL database in the recent past for Ops Insight service. Essentially, it supports capacity planning, SQL Insights, and SQL Explorer. Over here, what we're looking at is the Heatwave MySQL DB system fleet page, right? And all the DB systems that have enabled on the OpsSight service within SQL Insights application. And from here, the user can look at some of the system names and other details around the shape, the heat wave that is enabled. You can look at the CPU utilization, memory utilization, and storage across a given timeline. And a user can click on the system name, and that leads you to a MySQL DB system level page that gives you more insights around that database instance and looking at some of the SQL activity by command type, database type, executions by database, similar to what we show for Oracle databases. And we have out-of-the-box insights across some of the CPU memory storage metrics. And then also SQL activity for that given DB system is also broken down by other measures, including by DB time and by latency type and so on. And of course, we have this top SQL table that gives you measures across some of the top SQL that have been collected as part of this application. This is also a new feature that we have added in Ops Insights. Essentially, it's right now it's part of a dashboard experience, but eventually it will be what we envision is it's an application within Ops Insight service. We call it database performance application, which helps you gain a comprehensive fleet level view across your fleet of databases. So, in a nutshell, it basically highlights some of the important insights around a time model, weight class, ADDM data, and provides that, if you can see on the left-hand side, some of these insights. It also provides some of the top databases by activity, by different measures, database performance measures, and some of the utilizations around that, right? The user can also bifurcate top activity data by average active sessions. You can also look at the load tree map of the databases within this application. Now moving on to the capacity planning side of things, as a database fleet administrator or capacity planner, this capability of capacity planning has been there as part of Ops Insight for some time. It helps in letting you perform the following use cases at the compartment level for CPU, storage, memory, and I/O. Essentially, it helps in obtaining a bird's eye view of aggregate databases or host CPU allocations and utilization and usage trends. Provides you a fleet-wide distribution view of allocated databases, CPU resources, and their utilization levels. And by using this, it helps you gain proactive insights into current CPU storage, memory I/O utilizations, and helps you forecast using our sophisticated models, forecasting models, to look at any impending capacity issue or analyze any reallocation opportunities. So over here, we can look at, if you see on the right-hand side, we can look at some of the sections, the key section. This has been there as part of the service. We can look at the total inventory of databases that have been enabled at an aggregate view by CPU, storage, memory, and I/O. Then followed by that is the key CPU insights that kind of gives you some of the high utilizers, the low utilizers with hyperlinks, in context hyperlinks that users can click on. And that will take you to the insights and aggregate tabs. Similarly, we have it for storage, similar kind of high level finding and insights that is available. Besides this, we have the Insights tab that kind of gives you inventory view of all the databases with key measures around usage, allocation, utilization, usage, auto scaling, and database version, and so on. With a single context click through, you can always kind of look at, if you see in the bottom, the overall historical trend of the database from a CPU perspective. Yeah, and similar kind of exercise can be done across other measures such as storage, memory, and I/O. And then, of course, you can utilize our forecasting models to do the forecasting on top of that, as you can see on the right-hand side. We also have an aggregate view, which is the tree map view of all the fleet of databases, and it lets you very quickly look at the problem statements across your fleet of databases in terms of usage, allocation. Furthermore, it can be triaged using the color annotation that is used to kind of explain the utilization level, right? So the darker the color, the higher the utilization, the lower the color. The lighter color, the lower the utilization, right? So that is also available. Over here, you can also do grouping by a series of measures that is available to group this fleet of databases and kind of further fine tune and see, how the historical trend has been for that particular group, whether by tags or VM clusters, Exadata system, and so on. There are many interesting measures that are available as part of the grouping drop down here. And then recently, we've also added this view options that lets you look at the unused capacity, right, of the systems, right, of the Exadata systems that is available as part of this feature. So if you go and click on, let's say in this case, we are grouping by an Exadata system, we can see whatever is the unused capacity for that particular Exadata system that is easily viewable here across the various Exadata system that is enabled in the service. And And the other thing that we have recently added is which is called the show cost feature. This is again part of capacity planning, where if you are in a context of a single database, a user can click on this show cost option, and it will show you by allocated CPU how much is being utilized and how much is not being utilized, and it also provides you a dollar value of the allocated utilization that is basically shown over here. That is also now part of capacity planning here. Now, within capacity planning, we also have pretty comprehensive support for host and OCI compute capacity planning. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see the host capacity planning landing page, where it gives you a complete inventory of all the host and the various OS that is the host are supporting. It's given there. It gives you an aggregate view of CPU, storage, memory, and I/O with insights across those measures shown below. The main use case we are supporting is ephemeral host and compute instance, which are basically applicable to transient big data workloads. Instances where the instances are being auto-enabled and disabled within the compartment. That is one of the use cases that is supported by host capacity planning. We also have pretty comprehensive insights across top processes, the processes and the command names and the usage and the CPU utilization that is happening across those processes that is shown within this application. And recently we have added some of the additional features around cost optimization features, right, into host capacity planning application in terms of looking at burstable instance recommendations, compute shape optimization, memory optimization, any unused resources that are already enabled. If you need to disable them, that's another use case that is supported now. And recently we have also added in terms of any deleted or terminated host for the last 30 days, if someone wants to view them and analyze them, that is also available as part of host capacity planning. Moving on, Exadata Insights. So this is pretty much looking at capacity planning from an Exadata system perspective. Again, the use cases are similar in terms of looking at the capacity planning and looking at historical data and providing forecasting and trending on top of that. In terms of the support for Exadata Insights application for Ops Insights, we do support all the different deployment types of Exadata systems, whether you are on XaCS or XaDBD. We have support for XaDB C at C, which is XaCC, and Exadata on-premises. For XaDBD, we currently support that through private endpoint technology. XaDB C at C, which is XaC, CC used to be called XaCC, we support that through Enterprise Manager, meaning if you have XaCC systems managed by Enterprise Manager, we support that for Ops Insights service. We also soon will be announcing in a day or two support for a management agent, which is the Observability Management agent support that is coming for the cloud native support for XaCC deployments. This is on the right hand side, if you can see, this is the kind of the landing page of the Exadata Insights application, where you have an inventory of all the Exadata system that have been enabled with an aggregate view across the different measures. Down below, we have a list of Exadata systems with some of the important utilization levels in terms of how the current utilization is across these underlying infrastructure metrics, and then what is kind of happening, will be happening in the future, provides the forecast level over here. We have also added Exadata Insights with the child compartment support. This was something which we heard from customers. They wanted to kind of have that capability where you have some Exadata systems that are enabled within child compartments, so you can very easily select that and showcase that within the Exadata Insights in a single click view. That is now available as part of the experience. More so from Exadata Insights. So once you click in one of the selected or the ones you're interested in from Exadata system perspective, you can come into this landing page of a single Exadata context, which gives you a tangible view of the Exadata system from software and hardware inventory point of view, and provides key metrics for that particular Exadata system. More so, you can always click on metrics by database, by host, and measures to look at some of the other out-of-the-box insights and measures that we provide as part of the experience. Over here, we're looking at metrics by database, and we get this similar kind of a tree map view of or aggregate view of all the Exadata systems and all the databases that are enabled on that particular Exadata system, with capabilities around looking at the historical data and doing the right sizing and capacity planning for the future using our uh, integrated forecasting models. This is a news report feature. This is, as I mentioned, this is similar to Good Morning Report. Think of it as a weekly notable insights report sent via email that can be enabled across your enabled resources such as databases, host, and Exadata system and Ops Insight service. The news report provides essentially new highs, big changes, and inventory tally across your enabled resources. Uh, a news report helps IT managers by providing key insights across Ops Insights enable resources fleet for a selected duration via email, right? Further, it provides an in-context drill down per insight for quick resolution and access to Ops Insight service. So if you look on the right-hand side, this is one of the examples of what would you get once you enable Ops Insight service within a news report within Ops Insight service. It kind of provides you a high-level summary of all the databases, hosts, and Exadata systems that have been enabled within your service. It tells you, how much CPU has been used across your databases. What is the allocation storage and storage used and storage allocated. And then similarly, it provides some of the key utilization new highs across your targets for storage, CPU, and memory with the resource name, in context resource name. So the user can very easily click on these resource names and go to the service and see what's going on in terms of any highs and lows for that particular resource. Right now, in terms of needs support, we support capacity planning app or capacity planning insights. We also support SQL Insights, Insight as part of news report. And then recently we've added collection issues. So any issues you're having in terms of resources that are enabled on Ops Insights, it provides a news report for that as well as part of this experience. Right now, in terms of the delivery mechanism, we support email, but we are also working towards, as part of the roadmap, to integrate with Slack, PagerDuty, and ServiceNow and other ITSM tools. These are some of the examples with more details around how the capacity planning insights news report looks, with in-context drill downs, as you can see as hyperlinks, and then you have usage changes that has happened. It kind of provides you that, and that can help you very easily kind of fine tune or hone down on which one you want to kind of drill down and further triage, from an application perspective. Similarly, we have Ops Insight weekly news report, and soon we'll be adding a daily report for SQL Insights as well, which will provide you a high-level inventory of all the databases and the SQLs that have been analyzed for a given period. It tells you some of the key databases or the busiest databases, some of the degrading SQL with a lot of plan changes and what has happened, and provide you with in-context SQL ID that the user can kind of click on, and that will drill you to or take you to SQL Insights application within Ops Insights. This is again almost a brand new integration that we have done with Enterprise Manager. So in this, essentially, what is happening is like if you are an enterprise manager user, and you are in the context of a single database, you can very easily see Ops Insights, capacity planning, and SQL Insights related insights within Enterprise Manager database page, right? So in order to enable this, you need to have, of course, Enterprise Manager with the latest RU, and you need to make sure that you have enabled that particular database in Ops Insight service. And then you have set up EM Cloud Bridge, which is, again, Enterprise Manager feature. And once you do that, you can see in context drill downs and get insights around for that particular database. So in this case, what we're seeing is, if you can see on the right-hand side, we're giving out-of-the-box capacity and SQL insights around some of the capacity issues that the user may be seeing for this particular database, or any issues they may be facing pertaining to SQLs or degrading SQLs, or any issues pertaining to that SQL for that particular database, right? So this is an EM page, and within the EM page, we have embedded Ops Insights dashboards and screens, right? So the top one kind of gives you an overlay of the out-of-the-box insights with capacity planning view of looking at CPU, storage, memory, I/O, and the capability of looking at some of the forecast for future-looking days and weeks. Similarly, we have insights for SQLs in terms of degrading SQL plans, SQLs with plan changes and all. And then we provide out of the box some of the insights around SQL activity. That is what we have seen in SQL Insights application with top SQLs and different measures around that. So this is all in the context of Enterprise Manager without even going into Ops Insights. So we essentially brought Ops Insights very near and dear to Enterprise Manager users right in their own screen. Yeah. AWR Hub, this is, as I mentioned, this is a cloud-based data store. If you look at on the right side from architecture point of view, it helps you ingest AWR snapshots into a cloud-based data store. And once you enable it and set it up, it basically ingests this data from the AWS sources, or I should say database sources, in terms of AWS snapshots into this cloud-based data store. And from there, we have built these applications such as AWS Explorer and AWR Hub Explorer to write your own queries and do out-of-the-box analysis on top of that, right? In terms of setup, it's very easy in terms of creating the initial warehouse, which you can do within Ops Insights application. Once you create the warehouse, you have to add the resources for the given database. Right now, we have support for autonomous databases, whether it's shared or dedicated, and we also have support for external database in terms of AWR Hub. Once you go through the configuration of the AWR resources and AWR snapshots, this will start ingesting into this store, and then you can utilize these applications on top of that. In terms of some of the key use cases, it helps essentially in comparing database performance before and after database consolidation. It helps in doing analytics to solve some of the custom use cases which cannot be done out of the box, right? And it's all seamless, very scalable in the cloud. So it's very easy to kind of control it in terms of ingesting and stopping the data for a particular AWR DB source. If you want to do that, you can seamlessly do searching, comparison, contrasting of system data to acquire insights on your applications, systems, or database of your choice. This is something which we have recently added, I should say, enhancement that we've done to AWR Hub. This is called AWR Hub Explorer. This is essentially, it helps you or allows you to do exploration of AWR performance statistics. Now you can, utilizing SQL queries, you can extract AWR PDV views data to create intuitive visualizations, right? Some of the features within AWR Hub Explorer includes authoring SQL queries. As you can see, you can literally author your SQL query against well-renowned AWR PDB views to analyze database performance data. And then you can also utilize the free text query editor to copy and paste already saved queries to quickly pull and analyze data. So whether you can author it over here, or you can also, if you have been looking at some of these AWR PDB views, you can, and you have already have a customized SQL against that, you can literally use it over here to kind of view some of the underlying data, and then also visualize that based on that using the dashboard framework. Uh, this is something which we are kind of working towards. This is pertaining to GPU workloads, graphical processing unit. We have added support for GPU recently in Ops Insight service. What you're seeing on the right hand side is it's a limited availability view of how our host fleet performance dashboard with the GPU preview, how it looks. At a high level, we are kind of giving a long-term view of the GPU and the underlying infrastructure surrounding the GPU, right? Such as looking at the CPU, GPU, associated memory storage, some of the power and thermal implication that are kind of provided in the longer-term view. With that, we also provide some of the forecasting capabilities within the widgets in terms of looking at the temperature, the power consumption, the memory, that is also provided, some of the utilization levels of GPU. So you can look at and see the underlying data over a long period and do some of the forecasting on top of that is available within Ops Insight service. Some of the key use cases that we are kind of targeting in terms of utilizing this capability within Ops Insight is looking at the top processes, containers utilizing the most GPU memory over the last 6 months. We're also providing, or will be providing, kind of looking at use cases around training jobs and how the training jobs have been behaving over a longer period, how much are they costing over a given period, how the underlying resources are being utilized and if there has been any opportunities for cost savings with running these different machine learning jobs on top of the GPU infrastructure, right? These are some of the use cases that we plan to add into this capability. Lastly, I want to kind of quickly touch upon some of the dashboarding capability that is there. We are on a continuous basis adding a lot of out-of-the-box dashboards into the OCI dashboard repository, right? So if you enable the service, you can literally use these dashboards out of the box very quickly once your resources are enabled within OCI service. So what we're looking at is the host fleet dashboard, which gives you a high-level view of within a compartment, which hosts are kind of enabled within your service or deployment, right? The host types, platform types, the configurations, and provides you a view of the top host from a CPU perspective. Similar kind of information is provided across other measures such as memory, network, storage, top processes, and containers. We have other views that a user can very quickly look at, analyze, and bifurcate the data by top consuming processes across the host that is kind of available over here, which is very interesting at the host capacity planning level. We have, besides the application capacity planning application, we also have a dashboard view of capacity across your databases and host and Exadata systems that are enabled in the service. This provides you another view of that, where you look at all the databases which are enabled in the service, bifurcated by utilization, trending, memory, and so on. And similar kind of view is also provided for the host and Exadata systems within this dashboard. The beauty of these dashboards is that you can use it as is, or you can always save it by the action menu, and also further customize or delete or add different widgets as need be for your very use case that is available. And on the top, you can see, we have also added other measures that you can kind of select in terms of fine tuning your analysis for the capacity planning. We have a OCI configuration dashboard, which kind of provides you the overall configuration that has been set for the different deployment type by database, host, and Exadata system resources. This is there. And then lastly, wanted to quickly touch upon what we have is the demo mode, which is, think of it as just literally test driving the Ops Insight service. You can very quickly go and enable this without even enabling the right resources, right? So it uses our live labs tenancy to helps you kind of test drive all the features within the service. So you go there, you click on enable mode, and within seconds, you can go and basically look at all the different applications within the service and see if you have any questions about that. Yeah. All right. With this, I will go into some of the supported deployments that we have for Ops Insight service. As you can see, we have a very rich support by the different database flavors and the categories, meaning the application that are within Ops Insight service. We have support for autonomous, whether it's shared and dedicated, base DB, VM, bare metal type. We also, of course, have support for XIDBD. Max agent support is there. We also will be adding the Max agent-based support for Exadata, which is the Exadata XCC soon, that is coming soon. And then for Enterprise Manager, we have pretty much support for everything. That meaning that if you have Enterprise Manager and then you have resources, whether it's databases, Exadata system, and host, enable on the Exadata system, you can literally use EM Cloud-based technology within Enterprise Manager to ingest that data into OCI Data Store and start using our service using that feature. So we have pretty much a very healthy support for that. All right. And then I wanted to just quickly kind of go over the pricing for Ops Insights. Essentially, we have SKUs bifurcated by different database types, whether you're cloud or external database or autonomous. Now we also have, of course, support for Heatwave MySQL, which is also part of Ops Insight service. In terms of pricing, we have 1.5 cents per OC per hour. If you have cloud databases, which gets you all these features within the service, whether it's capacity planning, Exadata Insights, SQL, ADDM, Data Explorer, and dashboard capabilities, right? Similarly, same thing as for Exadata external database or host, which are enabled within the service, autonomous. Some of the basic features come free as part of the service, but if you are looking for something beyond the free, then yeah, you have to pay about this price per ACP per hour. Those features are some of the advanced features for autonomous, such as SQL Insights, SQL Explorer, ADDM Spotlight, and some of the advanced features that is part of the paid service. And then if you want to use the warehouses such as AWR Hub or Exadata Warehouse, then there are certain SKUs that are applicable for that scenario or for that use case. For that, you have to kind of pay for the instance itself, right? So in this case, if you want to set up the AWR Hub, you have to pay for the Ops Insight Warehouse instance at roughly 53 cents per OCP per hour. And then any data that is being extracted into the service, you have to kind of pay for that at $2 per gigabyte per month. That is applicable for AWR Hub in this case. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We have some resources that you can utilize, and we will share this deck, and you can explore some of the documentation, some collaterals. We have very interesting live labs that you can test drive using Oracle Live Labs and search for Ops Insights over there. We have a new series of how-to videos within YouTube that you can see for Ops Insights and other O&M services for that matter. And then with every major release of features, we do write pretty comprehensive blogs talking about the feature, the use cases, and how it can benefit you.